Yasodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Manachari Jamuna Tira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsadi Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavan Dham Jaya Lalita Visakha Jaya Radhe Shyam Lalita Visakha Jaya Radhe Shyam Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Srila Gurudev नित्यप्रविष्ट जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टादश शत श्री श्रीमद् एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय श्री जगन्नाथ महाप्रभु रथ यात्रा महामहोत्सव की जय श्री द्वारका धाम की जय श्री बद्रिका धाम की जय श्री अयोध्या धाम की जय श्री श्री कृष्ण भक्ति पदायिनी श्री श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय जय श्री गंगा मैया जमुना मैया की जय जय श्री प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय जुगधर्म श्री श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री श्री हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय All goes to assembled devotees Hare Krishna All goes to assembled devotees Hare Krishna All goes to assembled devotees Hare Krishna Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Hare Krishna. So first of all, I am paying my humble obeisances at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas and exalted Vaishnavis. So on this very auspicious day, today the second day of Rath Yatra, I think Jagannath Puri, the Ratha is still, today I think it is still celebrated. They could not reach the Gundicha temple. So these 7 days are very auspicious because Jagannath ji is in mood of Vrindavan. So we also celebrated very nicely yesterday. So 19. Yeah. So I was asked to speak few things, enlighten on this 19th verse of the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So as you know, I'm not very expert in philosophy, but still whatever little I have understood, I have assembled, I have heard, I have read, or realized little bit I can share. So please be tolerant with my conversation, and any mistakes or any corrections, you may do it. So we all are in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is entitled as Karma Yoga. So first I will recite. Tasmād asaktaḥ satatam kāryaṁ karma samācara asakto ācaran karma param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ tasmād asaktaḥ satatam kāryaṁ karma samācara asakto ācaran karma param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ tasmād asaktaḥ satatam kāryam karma samācara asakto ācaran karma param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ. Please repeat. Tasmād asaktaḥ satatam kāryam karma samācara asakto ācaran karma param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ. Tasmād asaktaḥ satatam kāryam karma samācara asakto ācaran karma param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ. Tasmād asaktaḥ satatam kāryam karma samācara asakto ācaran karma param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ. Mataji? Tasmād asaktaḥ satatam
kāryam karma
samācaram asakto ācaran karma param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ. Any Mataji like? No? Okay. So we'll go for the word meaning. Tasmāt, therefore. Asaktaḥ, without attachment. Satatam, constantly. Kāryam, as duty. Karma, work. Samācara, perform. Asaktaḥ, unattached. He, suddenly. Ācaran, performing. Karma, work. Param, the supreme. Āpnoti, achieves. Pūruṣaḥ, a man. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the Supreme. Can you repeat it? Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the Supreme. Purport. The Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotees and liberation for the impersonalist. A person therefore acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of work is certainly making progress towards the supreme goal of life. Arjuna is told that he should fight in the battle of Kurukṣetra for the interest of Krishna, because Krishna wanted him to fight. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment. But to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment for the result. That is perfect action of the highest degree, recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for the purification of impurities, impious activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reactions of good or evil work. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the result, but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all kinds of activities, but is completely non-attached. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Śrī Gurave Namaha Śrī Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Śrī Guru Śrī Utapadakamalam Śrī Gurun Vaishnavamsa Śrī Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jaitam Sruto Pangar Mamanda Matirgate Matsarvasya Padam Bhujo Radha Madana Mohono Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya vaja patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurathasi Namaha Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivāsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare Mukam karati vachalam pangam langhete girim jatkupatamah vande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Sri Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. Hare Krishna. So, as all of you have been hearing for the last so many days from different very exalted speakers, so today's verse, actually this chapter is Karma Yoga, right? So, if you see in the previous chapter, Krishna has described all the yogas. It was this summary of all the chapters, right? So he had described Karma Kandya, Karma Yoga, and then also Buddhi Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. Everything he has described, but not in a very systematic manner. So what Krishna has done in this particular chapter onwards, that is the third chapter onwards, Krishna is going to systematically describe all the, different in a sequential way to Arjuna, so that he can get rid of his doubts, and he'll be prepared to fight, right? So especially I can see many grahasthas are also here. So today's verse is dedicated to the grahasthas. It's interesting that you should learn how to work in a detached way, as a grahastha, exalted grahastha. All the devotees are already exalted grahasthas. So especially in particular, this sloka says how one can attain the goal of life, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how one can get liberated. And you can see what is the way of doing the most perfect action. This has been described. So as you know, Krishna is beginning this chapter actually in the second chapter itself. If you remember, those who are hearing regularly, so Krishna in the 49th verse, Krishna has told Arjuna, he said, Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga means renunciation of all the actions. Those who are already self-realized, they are in the highest platform of knowledge. They are fully Krishna conscious, Prabhupada writes in the Purport. And also those who are detached for any material attachments, and they are detached. And those who are free from bondage. So those kind of people, so they are called in Buddhi Yogis. So they can directly stop in doing any activities. Like sannyasis we see, sannyasis, especially Mayavadi sannyasis, they don't do any activity, just sit quietly. So this is what is refuted in this particular chapter, and in particular this verse. So Krishna says systematically, first Arjuna is asking Krishna in the beginning of this chapter, that you said Buddhi Yoga is the best. First you said Karma Kanda is very low, that is Sakama Bhakti. Better than that is Niskama Bhakti. Do your karma, prescribed duty, but don't get attached to the results. Okay, give the result to me. Krishna told all these things. Then again you are telling, then finally you told Buddhi Yoga is the best. Now, after telling all these things, why again you are indulging me in work? That is fight. Fighting means work. So is it not ambiguous? It is contradictory. So that is how this chapter starts. So with the first question Arjuna is asking, hey Janardhan, hey Kesav, please describe. I am very confused. You are telling to work and you are telling to renounce the work. So it is contradictory. So please clarify. So then Krishna systematically tells, there are two types of yogis, and karma yogi and jnana yogi. Karma yogis are those who have renounced the results, the fruitive activities for the sake of the Lord. And then the jnana yogis, they don't have to do any duty. They have no duty, they have no obligation, they have no work to do because they have achieved the highest platform. So then this particular section, of course, let me finish this. So then Krishna says in the third verse, okay, this Krishna says, and actually Krishna is telling the in the third verse itself that Arjuna, Krishna said there are two types of yogis, that is in the third verse. And the fourth verse, don't renounce prematurely. He's instructing Arjuna. If you prematurely renounce, you'll be committing sinful acts. Like many devotees we see in ISKCON, especially in my case, at least I see, because of some circumstances we give up the family life, give up the job, we join in the society. But then after some time, what happens? There are past, samskaras, all the swabhav, that compels, the mode which we have acquired, that compels us to work in that mode. It drags us, it forcibly engages us in those activities which we are attached to. So that is why Krishna is telling, don't prematurely renounce. You will definitely fall down and you will commit sins. So he is giving a warning to Arjuna. Then, because your heart is impure, how you can act? So that is why he is telling, Arjuna was not an ordinary soul. He was a eternal liberated soul. He was fully spiritually realized soul, and he had full spiritual intelligence. So that is what Krishna is meaning here. Arjuna, of course, the acharyas tell in a different way. If you see Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and there are three commentaries on this, Baldev Vidyabhushan and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. They tell in different words, but more or less the meaning is same. What is that? Our Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, Krishna says to Arjuna that you are not matured enough. Because see, this is the beginning. Karma yoga is the beginning where Krishna is starting instruction. He has to give jnana yoga, then dhyana yoga, and like that, then bhakti yoga. Then it's like that, it comes in a sequence. So till now Krishna has not instructed Arjuna. So he is telling, you are not yet mature. Who? Bhaktivinoda Thakur comments. So then he said, just work without any attachment. So then you will get the result. What is that? He says, you will directly get bhakti. He doesn't say liberation. Though he say param, āpnoti, pūruṣaḥ. Param means the supreme, and āpnoti means you will get, and pūruṣaḥ means destination. Supreme destination means Krishna. That is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur means. And Baldev Vidyabhushan, he also means the same thing. He says, Arjuna, he says, those who are in a very high platform, they have seen practically the soul. Okay, they have the vision of the soul. So they are so matured, for them there is no activity. There is no prescribed duty. Even then, there is no prescribed duty. Still they should act and to set an example. So that is what Baldev Vidyabhushan says. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he also says the same thing in a different way, that your knowledge is not matured. He is telling, instead of vision of soul, then different word he says, your knowledge is, you are not yet achieved the proper jnana. So better you do your sakam, and you also know, he is telling, you also know that just like Baldev Vidyabhushan says, sakam bhakti is useless. It has, you do something and enjoy the fruits, it is useless. That is what Arjuna already has realized till now. So that is why both the acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan, they are telling, better you have this concept, better you don't do sakam bhakti, you go for niskam bhakti. Do your prescribed duty, but give up the results, give up the fruitive active mentality. So that's how the Acharya says. So then what you to do? You do niskam karma yoga. Why niskam karma yoga? Why? By doing niskam karma yoga, your heart will be purified. The fourth verse, and if you have remember, those who are regularly hearing, the fourth verse Krishna has already told. So by this, your heart will get purified. Once the heart is purified, then what will happen? Then there will be knowledge. There will be manifestation of transcendental knowledge. That is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said. So once you are in the knowledge platform, then you can renounce. Then you can take sannyas, you don't stop working. Till that time, you don't stop working. That is what Krishna is telling in the next verse. Nobody can stop working, because the nature which we have acquired, it will force to do some work or the other. We can't. The Atma, the soul, is by nature, it is active. Just like Mayavadis. Why they fail? Because they just want to keep quiet, just a monist, don't do any work. So that is not possible. Okay, that is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So in the next verse, he is telling you helplessly will be forced, will be dragged to work by the, because in this subsequent it will come, who is the doer? This is a misconception of many of the Arjuna, at least till now. Prakriti kriyamanani gunahi karmani sarvasaha. The Prakriti, the nature is doing all the work. So then what Arjuna should do? Then Krishna is telling, if you renounce prematurely, you will be mithyachari. Mithyachari means the senses you try to control artificially, but the mind is it is hovering. It is contemplating on the sense objects. So then you are a false, like many of the devotees we see in a very good dress, saffron dress, or a tilak and kanthimala, but we internally, our mind is revolving. It's very difficult. That is why systematically Krishna is telling, do not renounce. That is why we see most of the sannyasis, even at the sannyasi stage, they perform various activities. They perform marriages, they perform birth ceremonies, various ritualistic ceremonies also. That also in 18th chapter, Prabhupada writes in Purport. So even a sannyasi should do the prescribed duty till he is get fully purified. Once he reaches the paramahansa stage, that like 4 stages of sannyas, Kuticaka, Bahudaka, Parivajaka Charja, and then Paramahansa. That Paramahansa stage, one may not do anything and just sit quietly. So even our ISKCON sannyasis, they do various activities, like we see in our temple also. So other than devotional activity, they are related to devotional activity because they are just stepping stone to the to reach the level of pure devotional service. So like that, then Krishna says in the next verse, that 6th verse, don't be a mithyachari, because your mind you have not yet controlled. So better are those who are trying to control the senses and mind. At the same time, without any attachment, they are doing their prescribed duties. They are far better. That means niskam karma. So Krishna is actually from the 3rd verse to 9th verse, Krishna is encouraging. Krishna is describing what is Niskam Karma Yoga. Okay, so very simple. Like we do so many things, and we say all the results goes to my credit goes to my Guru Maharaj. It gives to Krishna. So like a family man, a grahastha. What a grahastha should do? He should think, Manasa geha deha jo kichumar. Whatever I have, everything belongs to Krishna. Isavasyam idam sarvam. So whatever is thing, it belongs to Krishna. So everything should be utilized in Krishna's service. Very simple. So that is what a Gaurastha mentality is. Okay, it may be little, it's not difficult. If you, why I am telling systematically, then you can catch the essence of this sloka. So then Krishna says, in the 8th verse, Krishna says, so one cannot even maintain his body. He has to work. So like we see, many devotees, they think ISKCON, they have a lot of money, there is free prasadam is there, nice rooms are there, some ACs, fan, light, everything is provided, attached bathrooms are there, let me go and stay here. She can never stay here, because he will be disturbed and he will. So like that, many misconceptions are there. So one should not think one can work, one has to work. In fact, it's the other way around. The Acharya, the Prabhupada said, you have to go and do 8 to 10 hours of hard work, body, and also do your sadhana. So that is how the prescribed duties. All these things, essence Prabhupada has taken from the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So then, in the 9th verse, the last one, Krishna says, offer your activities, the result of your activities to Vishnu. That is how you can be peaceful, you can be satisfied. And that is called actual Niskam Yoga, Niskam Karma Yoga. So, like we see the famous verse, Karmana adhikarasya mahaphaleshu kadachana. So, we have the right to perform duties, but we have no right to enjoy the fruits. So, the same thing, the essence is that. Then, in the next 7 verses, that is 10 to 16, Krishna is describing the cycle of sacrifice. You know, how the Jivatma, he does the karma and give the result to Vishnu. That is the Jagya. Jagya means Vishnu. So then Vishnu, if he is satisfied, you have already heard. So he provides the rain, and now rainy season is going on. So because of rain, then the seeds, they fructify, then the grains come out. And the grains are the food material particles. If the bhutas, means the jivatmas, they consume, then they become sustained. And how they consume? Not directly. They first offer to the Lord, and then Lord is pleased, and then he gives the shastric injunctions, the Vedas. So that is how the cycle, the karmic cycle. So one who is not following this karma cycle, he is committing sin. So this is the learning you have already seen. So now let us come to today's section. It starts from the 17th verse to 35 verse. 17 to 35. This is a long section basically. So here Krishna is describing the Arjuna. I know you are very spiritually advanced, though because you are spiritually intelligent. You have spiritual intelligence, but still you should act for the benefit of others. How? Be an example. Do Niskam, do your prescribed duties. Just now Krishna said, those who are in the highest platform, they don't have to do any prescribed duties. So in the previous slokas, verse 17 and 18, I think yesterday was Sunday, Friday and Saturday, I think I must have heard from Mukundat Prabhu elaborately how Krishna is describing in those 2 verses that those who are on a very high platform, they don't have any duties. So what he says, so they are fully self-realized. So he uses 3 words: Atma Rati, Atma Tripti, and Atma Santushti. Rati means pleasure. They derive pleasure from internally. They're like Atmaram. You have heard in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Like Krishna, he is Atmaram. He doesn't depend on any other. Yes, of course, Radharani is the internal potency. Krishna is his own energy. So, but otherwise, Krishna is not dependent on any. For the pleasure of the gopis, he displayed all these pastimes, not for his own pleasure. He is Atmaram, Atmakam. Similarly, when person reaches the liberated platform, he is also called Atmarati. That you have already heard. And then Atmatrupti means he is satisfied. And then Santushti means he is fully satiated. There is no more desire. He is fully satisfied within himself. He doesn't have to depend on. So that means he has no material desire. He doesn't. Material desire means he doesn't have any desire to get any pleasure from the material objects, and he has no duty also. and he has no obligation, and he has there is no need to depend on others. So all these things you have heard, right? And also there is no reason why. So these are 5 things mentioned in the 17 and 18. So in continuation of these words, so why this verse is told by Krishna? So Arjuna is systematically asking. He is hearing, and the thoughts are going in Arjuna's mind. That's what I mean to say. So what Krishna is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, if you are self-satisfied, right? And Arjuna has already told in the first chapter, if you remember, say, Krishna, I don't want to fight, it's better, I will go to the forest, being mendicant, I'll live my life peacefully there, chanting Hare Krishna. So that is what Arjuna told. And so Krishna said, okay Arjuna, you don't want any kingdom? You don't want any family members? Arjuna said no. So it is the thought going on in Arjuna's mind. Krishna being Paramatma, he knows everything what is going in Arjuna's heart. So he says, okay, you go to forest and try to be satisfied. But Arjuna, don't forget, whether you are in the forest or in the city, doesn't matter. So there is no difference. But Krishna is, actually he is twisting the matter. Krishna is saying, see, I am also Atmaram. I have no duty to perform. But if you think you are also on the same transcendental platform, okay, Arjuna, you go ahead and you don't do your duty. And if you think you are at that self-realized platform, so then whether you do your duty or don't do your duty, there is no difference. So now Krishna is giving 2 very nice analogy. So try to hear this analogy, it becomes more easy for you to understand. So many times we are materialistic life, we get frustrated, right? We are doing all these our daily activities, the same thing we repeat, But many times it's obvious, it is kuntha, the world is dukhalayam asaktaḥ, it is natural for us to get frustrated. So then many times people come to the temple, they try to, change their life pattern. They give up everything and they try to shift their focus on the spiritual life. But what happens once they reach the spiritual life, they cultivate, then slowly they become very happy. And but the test is the real test comes if they come to the spiritual platform and they become good, they have their good time. But the same spiritual desire, are they cultivating? Like we do our sadhana. Initially we are very enthusiastic. You come for kirtan, come for the class. I can see many youngsters. Then slowly they disappear. Even in a advanced stage, after 20 years, 30 years, many brahmacharis, they are going for, I should not mention, but they are getting frustrated. So this is the sloka verse. They have to be carefully contemplating. So why? Because they have not yet matured. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, if you have matured enough, you have passed the test, fine, okay. You be an example for the others. Demonstrate by your apne achari parera sikhaye. In Chaitanya Charitamrita said, so you do all these activities in yourself and demonstrate to the others. So by then, at that platform, I will advise, okay Arjuna, you can renounce all your these things and then stop working. Till that time, you have to work. So all these slokas you have heard. So another example, Krishna is the acharyas they are quoting, like the students, those who are they are having some exams, they are studying very hard. Once the exam is over, they pass the exam and still they have to study higher and higher. But then, once they join our movement, many youngsters, they come from educational background after preaching. So they get that transcendental happiness. So at the same time, Krishna is telling, that doesn't mean they should not care for their studies. This is where most of the people, they have to go back. The parents are very serious. Oh, my boy, my girl has gone to the ISKCON temple, he is now neglecting his studies. So while preaching to them, we never say stop your studies. We say, anyway, you are getting the transcendental pleasure, and whether you study or don't study, that transcendental thing will go on. So better you study. So that is how, don't give up your profession, because the same thing, to maintain your livelihood, you must earn your livelihood, unless you are a full-time brahmachari. So like that, Krishna is teaching Arjuna. So there is no difference for the student, whether he keep on his study or he he stops studying. So better, he is giving indirectly Arjuna a hint, the better the students should study and set an example for others. So when they see, okay, he is going to ISKCON, he is reading Bhagavad Gita, attending class, he is chanting, he is doing all sadhana, and also he is doing good marks, he is fetching good marks, then it will be like a it's a good asset for preaching to others. So that is how. So then Krishna in the subsequent verses it will come. Arjuna then may challenge. Okay, is there any other example? You are telling all these things to me. I will work. What are the other examples? Quote some example. Then Krishna is saying, myself. I am God. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I have nothing to do. Still I work because to set an example. So what is that famous sloka? What is that? It will come in the 21st verse. If you see, and it says. Jajjad achariti shrestha tattat itaro jana sajat pramanam kurute lokastadanu vartate. So whatever action a great man performs, a common man follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, the whole world pursues. So this is the example Krishna gives to Arjuna. See, even though I am God, I don't have to do anything, because nothing I have to achieve, still I work, because otherwise what will happen? All others will follow me. They will also become, oh, Krishna is not doing anything, why we should do? Many imitators are there. So to restrain them, so this is a general instruction for all of us. So that one should not imitate Krishna, one should follow the instructions. Even you see the beginning, even Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, they cannot violate the instruction of Krishna. Krishna is giving a very heavy warning. Whoever violates the instructions, they will be doomed. Their life will be ruined. Their spiritual advancement will be checked. So that is how we have to be serious. So then other examples are Janaka Maharaj. The father of Mother Sita, Janakapuri is there in Nepal. Recently we visited. Very nice, there is a ISKCON center there, a very nice river. There are so many places of Lord Ramchandra. So there, Janak Maharaj, he was one of the example. Though he perfected his life, he didn't went back to Godhead. Of course, later on he got liberated. That is another thing, because he was the father-in-law of Lord Ramchandra. He was very highly transcendently situated. But what he did is, he ruled the entire world, and he set an examples how even in family life one can practice Krishna consciousness and make his life perfect. So that the whole he is not getting attached. So attachment means what? Attachment means doership. I am the doer. This belongs to me. The possessiveness. Sannyasi means kartapan, no kartapan, and no. I am not the doer. I am not the possessor. So that is a true sannyasi. That is what Krishna is telling. The real renunciation, the true renunciation, Krishna will tell, is means those who have full knowledge, true knowledge, and their heart is fully purified, and they are free from bondage, and they are free from any attachment. Okay, and then they are the true sannyasis. So this example of Janak Maharaj is giving, and also we see in scriptures Lord Ramchandra. He was an ideal king who ruled for 11,000 years. This he was the king of Ayodhya. He set an ideal example. So how to, even those days it is mentioned that even people who used to die prematurely, they used to come and complain. The father will say to Lord Ramchandra, how can my son die in my presence? So he used to give the justice. Nobody used to have any disease. There is nobody used to have premature old age, or there is ample supply of all the necessities of life, in food grains, the air. Everything was perfect. So that is Ramarajya. So how the Lord doesn't have to do all these things? So why he comes? So one of the reason is to maintain the equilibrium, the balance. So how to set an example. So how the king should be ideal king, he was ideal brother, he was ideal father, he was ideal husband. So all these things, Lord Ramchandra's character, all of you know, I don't have to go elaborately. Then the other examples are Yudhishthira Maharaj. He was also very ideal king. Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, they are all ideal kings. So they have lived in this world, and it is mentioned that Janaka Maharaj used to go to the hellish planet, where he will see all the people who are suffering in the hell. And And once he reaches there, it is so soothing for the, because of the presence of pure devotee. All the people who are suffering the hell, they get relief from the the difficulties or the hellish conditions. So like that, they are very munificent, very magnanimous, all these exalted kings. So many are there. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we see the series of are there. So Yudhishthira Maharaj also like that. He was so devoted. He was always thinking of the others' benefit, not their own selfish. So like that. So then in this sloka, if you see, let us go to the sloka. I should have told earlier. So it's not Prabhu, slok thoda dikhayenge. So if you see the tasmāt. Tasmāt means therefore. So why this therefore word, tasmāt word is told in this sloka? So why Krishna is using tasmāt? The reason is in the previous verse, that is 17 and 18. All of you have heard, those who are highly self-realized. So for them there is nothing to do. Either they do or they don't do. It's the same thing for them. They are fully detached. So that is why tasmāt word is used, therefore. Asaktaḥ satatam. Asaktaḥ satatam means remaining. Satatam means always. Asaktaḥ means detached. Then kāryaṁ karma samācaram. So kāryaṁ means prescribed duty. Karma samācara means they perform. Do your prescribed duty. That is what Krishna is instructing Arjuna. You see the second line, kāryaṁ karma samācara. Then if you do this, what is the result? If you perform your duty, that is asaktaḥ ācaran karma. Asakta means without attachment. If you ācaran means if you do this karma, what is the phalasruti? What is the result? Now param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ. Param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ. Param means, so what is the result is one will attain the supreme destination. So here you see Krishna is not using mam. Krishna could have told mam āpnoti. Param. Why is he telling param āpnoti? Param means supreme destination. So that is what Krishna is indirectly telling about himself. So that actually it is for the first time in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, if you see, for the very first time Krishna is telling this, how one can, this param, especially this particular word, his first time he is using, that one can attain, Arjuna, you can attain me by simply working. So it is very nice for many ISKCON, many of the grahasthas, 99% are grahasthas. So how to work in a very detached manner. So my Guru Maharaj used to tell this to all of his classes whenever he go for preaching, to house preaching or any. I used to travel with him many times. So he will say, do your duties. Many times grahasthas are very reluctant. They try to imitate brahmachari sannyasi. They don't want to do anything, sit in the temple. Then the fighting starts between husband and wife, even though both are devotees. So that is why we cannot, if you are in a family life, in a grahastha life, when Narad Muni says this same thing in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, towards the last, ideal family life. There also Narad Muni says how honestly one grahastha should earn his livelihood, how he should feed all the, even insects, all the living entities inside his house, how he should invite guests, and how he should invite the sadhus and feed them and give them the necessities. So many responsibilities. Grahasthas is a big responsibility. So like that, at the same time, the grahastha should learn the art of detachment. So the whole chapter is dedicated Niskam Karma Yoga in the 3rd chapter. So then even in grahastha life, we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned, like those during Rath Yatra, this period, all the grahasthas from Bengal, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they used to come and meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then they used to think, we are all fallen, we are in a very lowest platform of devotional life. So please instruct how we can get delivered. So that time Lord Chaitanya always used to mention the same thing, do not get attached. The Raghunath Das Goswami, when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the first time, he also instructed, Raghunath, now you are not matured enough. The best example is Raghunath Das Goswami. Though he was very advanced, to just set an example for the grahasthas, he sent him back. So Raghunath Das Goswami comes back, he used to sleep in the Devi Mandap. He never used to go to his house. Then the mother is telling, let us get him married, so that he will get attracted with a beautiful wife. So he had, all of you know, in the wealth like more than Indra, and the wife was more beautiful than Apsara. So all these things he was not attracted. Because he was internally detached. So internal things are more important than external. So that is what we have to know. So do all the activities as a matter of duty, but don't get attached to Krishna. So that art a grahastha has to learn. So that is what it is meant here. So param āpnoti pūruṣaḥ. So if you see this purport, Prabhupada, we have only 5 minutes left. So Prabhupada also very nicely says, the first thing you see, for a devotee, the destination is the Bhagavan, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and for impersonality is the liberation. I am just summarizing the purport. So the most important thing which caught my attention is the one must have do it under the guidance of the spiritual master. So spiritual master will give us the mood of detachment. It is not possible otherwise. The Vairagya Vidya Nija Navapurnam. So whole Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you read, the entire thing is based on Vairagya Vidya, means detachment. Of course, in Bhagavad Gita also we see 15th chapter, how the asaktaḥ tree is there, in a banyan tree, upside down. By the acts of detachment, one has to cut off all the material desires. So like that, the entire pūruṣaḥ yoga, 20 verses are there. So all of you will have already heard many times. I am not repeating that. So then he says, the progress towards the supreme goal of life is done if one is under guidance of a spiritual master. That is a must. And then, so this is what is the interest of Krishna. Why Arjuna is denying? Because he was considering his personal desire. So, and Krishna is telling, Prabhupada is writing, a good man or a non-violent man. So this is, Prabhupada repeatedly tells, good man, don't try to be a good man or non-violent, because be a Krishna's man, be a man of Prabhupada, man of your Gurudev. So these are all personal attachment, personal achievement, attachment. So these are the things we should be very careful. Prabhupada writes the same thing. If anything is done in my moment for personal ambition, everything gets ruined. So we have to be very careful, do everything and submit it Guru, but we have to see, examine our heart. Are we doing really for our spiritual master, or we are doing for our name, fame and adoration, profit and adoration? So that is very dangerous. So then one has to act on behalf of the Supreme without any, and give the result to the karma arpanam, Krishna karma arpanam. If you see 11th chapter also, Krishna says that same thing. 12th chapter also, if you cannot fix your mind and intelligence, follow the regulatory principles, like we have been given the morning program. If you cannot do that, work for me. And then Krishna says, if you cannot work for me, at least do some good activities, give some donation, give some food, and or any, so many pious activities. If you cannot do that also, work, but give the result to me. The same thing. Many places. In 18th chapter, Krishna says, action in mode of goodness. There also Krishna says. In the 12th chapter he says. In the 11th chapter he says. Many places. And the 5th chapter also, the same question Arjuna is going to ask Krishna. There also Krishna is telling, action in Krishna consciousness is better. So no way we should stop working. It's a very, directly into mode of ignorance. So then he says, action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reaction of good or evil work. So even though it's apparently some devotees are doing some wrong things, but Krishna will forgive them. Because is doing for trying to do it, the intention. Krishna sees what is the real thing. I said sannyasa renunciation is the consciousness. It's not the work which make one sannyasi. The consciousness behind our work which makes one sannyasi. So the consciousness is I am doing it for Krishna. And just like, I think last sloka, tasmād sarvesu kāles māma anusmrat. So Arjuna will, I heard just now, Prabhuji was telling. So Arjuna will fight, he will look at the target, or he will think of Krishna. No, he doesn't have to think of Krishna. By simply doing, you are already doing it for Krishna. So that is Bhakti Yoga. So that is how, on behalf of Krishna alone. So in preaching, whatever activities one does in life, even a devotee, he sleeps, he takes bath, he eats, in whatever, all activities, these are all Krishna's activities. So that is why time is up. So I think I should stop here. I don't know whether you have understood or not. I tried, but it is more of a philosophical this thing. But the more or less what we learnt today's is we should not prematurely. I see many, even Matajis we see, should not mention anybody's particular name. But I find, because I am taking care of the devotee care department, so they come, but I see practically many of them are prematurely, they have some problem. So what is the understanding is, if somebody has exclusively come to serve Krishna, then he will not get disturbed, this problem will not come, he will be always detached. But if the intention is slightly different, then Maya is there to catch immediately. So one has to fully realize that why I am giving up all these things, because if you discontinue your material things, it may not come again to you. So one has to be very careful and take guidance from the spiritual master. Many times, many devotees ask, should I take Banprastha? A spiritual master will tell, no, just wait. He will check, he will examine, he will do the test in different situations. Then if he is convinced, then he may allow. So like that, we should not try to be mithyachari. It's very difficult. So the whole thing is the mercy of a pure devotee. One should always be fixed in his Guru Nishtha. Guru Nishtha. That is Guru Padasraya. That is the first step in devotional service. So one should not have any kutinati. Kutinati means some cheating inside, something outside, duplicitous behavior. So all these things we should give up. Then detachment will come. Then we can do Niskam Karma Yoga. So it's very easy. Niskam Karma Yoga is easy than sannyas. It's very, very nice actually. Prabhupada has made such a nice arrangement. Whatever we do, it is Krishna Karma. What more we want? Hare Krishna. Grantharaj, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki. All the assembled Vaishnavas ki jai. Nitai Gaur Sitanath.